Hey, this is a most wonderful holiday weekend with lots of sunshine. You can see it's just covering my surface, and I don't know if we're going to get much of a photo today. But today I'm working on Woolly Whims, month 5. It's going to look like that. So this is going to be sort of a sew long. So just turn me on when you turn on my video when you're working on another project, and we'll work on stuff together. Would that sound okay to you? All right. That's what the back of it. No, wait a minute. That's not what the back of it looks like. This is what the back of it looks like. So that'll be the whole block. And the first part we're going to work on is this part. Okay, here we go. I spent some time cutting out all the parts and pieces. Oh, by the way, how was your holiday? Did you do a lot of fireworks and barbecue? My daughter invited me to her in-laws for a lovely barbecue block party. So I met all kinds of strangers. It was wonderful. And family too. Family that I've met with other parties. So isn't that nice? That's the best part. There must have been 45 people. It was a big party. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is make some 4-patch units with these little guys here. So I will go ahead and start sewing them up. And I'm using a basic cream thread from, I believe, Missouri Star. I bought some big giant bolts of it. Everything's ready? Yes, here we go. And once I get all these little squares together, then we'll cut them apart, and then we'll put them together to make the 4 patches. And that's going to be the 4 corners of the inside square. Have you all looked at my video on picking out the fabric for the Sew Sampler Block of the Month? Not the mystery one, but the block of the month that comes with the box every month. Have you gone and looked at that video and picked out which fabric, A, B, or C, that I should work on? I think I had 1 A, 2 or 3 B's, 1 C. And I need more choices than that. Give me some more answers, please. Of course, I could make projects with more than one, but for this time out, we're going to use one of those 3 to make the Sew Sampler Block of the Month. Flowering is the name of it. I have tons and tons of these clamps. I have this whole box. I think this was from, one of these was from Sew Sampler. No, from Soft Squares. And the other one, I think I got when I ordered some blades from, I'll think of it in a moment. I think Leanne from Pastry Queen Lives in the Morning, she works with their shop quite a bit. I'll have to think about the name of it. I'm thinking. Okay, let's see what we need to do with those guys. Separate them, of course. And we're going to sew the, we're going to press towards the dark. That looks crooked, doesn't it? Let's do this. That looks crooked too. Now that's better. I missed going to a parade this year. I was working that day and I saw some really nice people, but I didn't get to go to a parade. All right, so let's put these together now. And since they're pressed, of course, alternate ways, they will go together very lovely. Let's make sure they're going to go together neat. Neat and tidy. See, when you don't pin them, you got to be real careful that they're not sliding around when you're sewing them. So just before the needle goes over the middle, I always put my finger down to see, do they feel like they're nesting? And I pretty much can figure it out. Make sure the ends are together, make sure they're nesting. Yep. I need to make a couple of quilts for college and high school age granddaughters. So I have to figure out what on earth that they would like. It's a lot easier to pick out something for a 4-year-old, for goodness sakes. So I've enlisted my daughter to help me. Okay, and then it says to, as they go away, just to go down. These fabrics are so nice. Down, okay. Okay, the next thing we're going to do are some star points. So these are the L, I'll betcha. Yes. And those are going to go on G. Oh, these are going to be tiny little guys. Use the flying geese method. Isn't the flying geese method just when you go point to point and turn it back and iron it and add on the other guy? Pretty sure that's what we're doing. It doesn't say though, it just says use the flying geese method. Well, one would think that that would be straightforward. Using those lines on the machine is so nice. It really does work. I learned that from watching Andrea with Arkansas Gals. It's amazing how nice they go together when you cut your things precisely. There used to be times when I would be a little sloppier and nothing ever went together nice. So this is really, I'm getting better is what I'm trying to say. Getting more accurate. Boy, that skylight is like having a magnifier right here on my workstation. Probably washes it out and makes it so you can't see what I'm doing. Here, I'll show you. I'm putting the little blue guy on the beige guy. And we're going to turn those into flying geese by sewing from one corner to the other. Sometimes they'll say, draw a line from opposing corners, from here to here. But I'm just going to put it on these lines and do it that way. The lines are the tape that I put on the sewing board here. Okay, so now we're going to, what are those? Uh-oh. Use the flying geese method to make 4 flying geese units. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boy, I sure don't read things very much, do I? I am sure glad I didn't chop those up. My goodness. Well, we'll just separate those. We're only going to make 4 of those. We're going to have to take these off of these. Well, there's so much extra material. I could make more, but why? These are all All right, so I messed up. We will persevere, right? Now these are the 4 you're supposed to do, and then we have these 4 that go with some of these. And I wonder if we're going to use those blue ones. No, we're not. So why did we make so many of them? There's supposed to be 8 little blue squares. And I made 2, 3, 4. 1. Oh, I made the right number. Boy. Nut burger. Here we go. Those are those corrected. Now we'll just leave those to the side for now. Mother, 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 mother. What's the best thing to do when you start a project? Let's all say it together. Read the instructions first. Yeah, that's what you do. Okay, so with these, we're going to cut the, I just cut them with this. Leaving a 1/4 seam edge. I love these scissors from Creative Notions. Yeah, they say Creative Notions right on the side. You guys don't save stuff this small, do you? I think some people save them to put on, to put in pillows or something like that. Maybe that's what we do with them. Hi, Hannah. Hannah messed up my camera. Shall we keep going like this? Let me straighten it up. Hi, baby. Again. Yes, Hannah, we love you. Come on back over. You can say hi. Yeah. I'm gonna go get you some shoes. Some shoes today. Some dental shoes. Yes. Good girl. Hannah with the big brown eyes. Yes, you do. You have big brown eyes. Okay, you're a good girl. Good girl. Okay. Want to go sit down? All right? You can stay right here with me. Yes, you can. Okay. Nice, sweetheart. Yes. Good girl. I just love your big rubber bumper nose. Yes, you got that big poodle lab nose. And you need a haircut, don't you? Before we get into August when it's so hot. What kind of dogs do you have? Do you all have dogs? Or are you kitty people? I'm a little bit allergic to kitties, so I've sort of had to find hypoallergenic dogs, which is my beautiful Hannah girl. Yeah, Hannah girl, Hannah girl. Put your hand up here. Yeah, yeah, okay. Okay, now I'm gonna put this one on here. And I'm gonna try not to mess it up, Hannah, okay? Now we're gonna sew from the opposing corner over here down to the middle. Perfect. And one more to make the 4. Okay, so we have 4 little flying geeses. And we'll trim those and press those, and they'll be just lovely little boogers, yes. Now we're going to need to trim these to size. They're supposed to measure 1.5 by 2.5. Let me get my flying geese ruler out and let's fix those right this minute. Not that one. Not this one. This one is an odd shape. What's that? Multi-size curved corner cutter. Okay. Oh, and this is what we used for those tube square-ups. Tubes, I can't even say it. Tube, what we made Park Plaza with. Here's a tiny little thing. Let's see, do we need 1.5 by 2.5? Let's see if there's one on here. No, they have a 1, wait a minute. Here it is, up here in this corner. 1.5 by 2.5. I think we can do it. Let's see, 1.5 by 2.5. Who's out there, Hannah? They're coming out pretty close. If not, there might be a little bit small. Usually my half square triangles are too big and lopsided. Yeah, this one's too small. Okay. Next, we're going to make flying geese method with M and H, which are these M, 1.5 by 2.5, and H, 1.5 inch square, 1.5 inch squares, yes. Let's read that whole paragraph. Using the flying geese method and G and L to make flying geese units. Units measure 1.5 by 2.5. Use the flying geese method and M and H to make 4 flying geese units. Units measure 1.5 by 2.5. Stitch a G flying geese on top of an M flying geese, making 4 of these units. Units measure 2.5 by 2.5. So we're essentially making a chevron. Little chevrons that measure 2.5 by 2.5. And then we have all, when we get these 4 guys done, we have all the components to make the inside unit, which are the 4 flying geeses, the 4 portions that match with it to make the chevron, the 4 corners, and the little flower in the middle. All right. Then we'll work on the outer portion. No, this way. All right, then let's press these little set the seam and then make the bend. That does work better. Okay. Since those first ones were a little bit small, I'm gonna take a little bit tinier of a seam. Like maybe a thread or 2. Do you see me having to turn that around 3 times? I tell you, I gotta watch myself. Now, that's what it's gonna look like. perfect. Yep. 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 Okay, so let's check the sizes on these. Better. Nothing but a hair's breadth bigger, but those others were just a hair's breadth too small. All right, so what we do is we put this one like that and this one like this, so that together they appear to be a chevron. Well, let's do it like this. Sort of like that. So let's put those together. Let me put a pin in those. Flying geese are always a little unwieldy to me. Here we go, little chevrons. That's the best one. That's a little bit messed up, but okay, let's measure these and see how close they are. That's pretty close. Yeah, okay. Close. right, let's lay it out. Let's look at what we've got here. I put some mousse on my hair and it's not looking like I was thinking it was gonna. Now this is looking better. Oh well, yeah. Okay, chevron, 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 chevron. Thing in the middle. Little square, little square. See, I'm positioning them so they go opposite. Now, is that correct? No. This one is supposed to go like that. This is wrong. Okay. Boy, I made the best oatmeal raisin cookies yesterday. Wow. I got to thinking, you know, I put cream cheese in some of my cakes where they have those, where they say take a box mix and then you add to it to make it stupendous, you know. So this time I tried some cream cheese in with the butter and sugar mixture. And it really did give it a lovely, lovely flavor. So I took a batch of those to the party. And I used dried raisins and I used dried cranberries. Sort of a mix. Went over great. Refer to the diagram, stitch the block into rows, and then the rows into the block. Should be a 6.5 by 6.5 block. So these go out and these go out. I think we're going to take a minute and actually press these. Now I pressed the centerpiece inward and the top two outward, so that when you match the seams, they go together nicely. And that makes sense because the center of the block is flat. There's no seams in it. So it would be best to press towards it. You know, each one of these is an intersection, so I need to probably pin all of them. Well, we're going to go ahead. That tricky little thing. That's why people use headers and leaders, don't they? Hey, looks good. And the seams do go together. Pretty amazing, huh? Okay, so that's a whole hour that we've been doing this. So I'll chop this, I'll cut out some of it, get it down to about 45 minutes. And I'll go ahead and get the last part of the block done. And I promise, I'll read the directions before I do it. And then I'll come back and show you the final product, okay? Alrighty, thank you. And then the next thing we're gonna do after this is we're gonna plan ahead on, I'm gonna put together a video that I can post and have my 2 new granddaughters pick out which quilt they might like. Of all the ones I'm working on, or the ones that I've already got flimsies for, or one, you know, one of those. So let's see. I'll keep you posted on what they decide on. All right, I'll get back to you soon. Thank you, bye. Hi everybody, I'm back. Woo, we got it done. Didn't have any other mishaps either. So there we are. Woolly Whims, the Lammy blocks. Woolly Whims, block of the month, month 5. And if you'll remember, this is what, or give you a picture of what it's supposed to look like when it's all done. Just as cute as a button. I just love that. So that is month 5. And next month is going to be another lamb. So that'll be fun. I noticed that Lori Holt's coming out with a whole lamb quilt with all the blocks are lambs. And then inside the lambs are going to be little designs. You know, a little quilt block star. So, you know, lambs are a popular topic, I suppose. All right, well, so that's the end of Woolly Whims, block of the month, month 5. Yes, month 5 for July. Woo! Okay, I'm going to go to my spreadsheet and check that off. All right, see you next time. Bye now.